So I'm standing there looking at this body that's 10 feet away. Whoever I am, I always am. And whatever's on the floor is nothing more than a shell.
And suddenly found myself coming out of my body and coming to be still just underneath the ceiling. I just saw the form of me, but I was no longer there.
There are now a number of cases that have come through, and we've also found them in our studies, where particularly we can pinpoint that consciousness appears to be ongoing when the brain has shut down, and people are able to verify specific details what was happening during that period, which tells us that awareness, consciousness has not shut down even though the brain has shut down.
I was alone in the light and it was surrounding me. And the feeling of love was like bliss, total ecstatic bliss. The feeling of love was so overwhelming that that's all it was. It was the only thing that existed. There was me in the light. There was love, joy, knowledge, wisdom, incredible feeling of beauty, and just being in the light. The light was me. I was the light. I was the light.
One of the most devastating thoughts that I have to most people, because they fear this the most, and that is on a religious vein, that they seek God or they seek Christ outside of their body, that they are actually part of that entity. That we, each one of us, are a thought, a fragment of all it is. We are also a fragment of the Creator, however small that would be. In centillions, septillions, octillions, we are a fragment of the consciousness of all it is. So that we should look within ourselves to evolve.
What I knew was that I was immortal, that I was eternal, that I was indestructible, that I always had been and that I always would be, and that there was no way in this world that I could ever be lost, that it was impossible for me to fall into a crack in the universe somewhere and never be heard from again. I just knew that I was utterly safe and that I always had been forever and ever and ever. And when that block of knowledge was digested by me, as it were, another block of knowledge came in, another whole field came into my being. And what I knew then was that the universe runs according to a perfect plan. I knew that the plan was perfect, and everything that we think about as hard to understand or unfair or cruel, brutal, whatever, that was all really without meaning. And I know that's very difficult. But I knew this, I understood it, I comprehended it in a way that when I came back from the experience, I really couldn't comprehend anymore. But I understood that all of the things that we worry about and that concern us, we don't have to worry about at all. There is a perfect plan, and the plan is working itself out in its perfection.
I really believe that we are a loving manifestation of our higher consciousness. I believe that we have within this physical presence that we currently have, I believe that some of that light is within, and some of that God presence, because that God is all that oneness, that unity. And so I believe that a part of that is within me right here. And I believe that that's my connection to that communication, to what I call spirit. And so to go back to it is just releasing the physical bounds that we have and then reconnecting to our totality.
It is about bringing the light into this earth. Stay here. Be an anchor. Let the light come in through you. Don't abandon this world. We need you. We need you here. We need you to be present. You're here to anchor the light.